Today's episode is sponsored to you by A&H Provisions. Meat and hot dogs that are so good, even Goyim understand how amazing they are. It's the next level of kosher food, and the website is kosherdogs.net. Get yours, enjoy them, A&H Provisions. Welcome to And Here's Modi. Hi, everybody, and welcome to And Here's Modi. This episode is sponsored by A&H Provisions, the best kosher meats, right? Glatt kosher meats. And the website is
www.kosherdogs.net.
Was a www necessary? Just kosherdogs.net. Best hot dogs in the world. Even the Goyim understand that they're so good that they buy them when they don't need to buy kosher hot dogs. Glatt kosher hot dogs. So now we've begun. We've hit the sponsor right away. We have, of course, Leo's here, Periel, and our guest today, a return.
Oh,
A repeat.
A repeat.
Our
Such
first
luck.
repeat.
it's not.
It's not.
The
I'll go.
holy Rabbi Bellino.
Oh.
Rabbi Gavriel Bellino of Sixth Street Synagogue.
And
Hi, Gav.
Hey
Hi.
guys, how we doing?
Hi,
Good.
welcome back.
Thank you. It's lovely here.
It's very lovely here. It's funny because when we were in LA and we did the show with Olga, she said to me, so what do you call him? Is it call him Gav? Or do you call him Rabbi? I said, it depends on the context I'm speaking to him. If I'm speaking to him is am I doing Shachris or Musaf? Then I say,
Right in the third, you speak in the third person.
Rabbi, am I doing Shachris or Musaf? Or am I,
Yeah. It's funny.
should I get the Balenciagas or the Valentinos? Then it's Gav, right?
Word.
I appreciate that. Different lives. You live different lives. You gotta.
Okay, and we just got back from Comics Roadhouse where Periel burst her road cherry.
I don't know if that's the right way to phrase that, but okay.
She said it.
Is she gonna get?
Yeah, the word is pop.
Pop. Oh, pop, not burst.
Yeah,
guess
there's something especially gross about the word burst.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know.
Better than pop.
She gonna get all clingy now?
No. So your first road cherry. How
Oh
was
my
it?
God.
Your first road cherry.
It was amazing. It was so much fun. It was honestly like one of the most, first of all, I feel like we moved in there
We
for
live
like
there now.
3 months.
We have a pied-à-terre.
You were away forever.
Yeah.
You guys
And
are
also
so
nowhere.
spoiled. You have no idea what road gigs are. You're in a casino. You had these beautiful rooms. We had
Amazing.
the restaurants downstairs, and the club was right there. It was a very easy road gig.
The term restaurant is generous.
Yes, it's so gross. I mean, people who like casinos and all that, this is a great place, but it's not my thing at all.
No, it was honestly like the most amazing, magical, insane weekend. But the shows were incredible.
Yeah, anyone listening would hear, I guess 2 episodes ago, me just lamenting the fact that these shows were coming up. But I kept saying they were going to be fine, and they were fine. They were good. They were more than fine. They were packed.
They were fine, and some were sold out. And Jews in the neighborhoods people drove from 3 hours,
people
and
drove
2
3
hours, and Boston and New Jersey. Some people made a weekend of it. They
Brooklyn.
stayed there, Brooklyn, and they were great shows. And the room is a very good room,
And they were so nice.
they were
Comics
so nice.
Roadhouse was amazing.
so sweet.
Yeah, you're
And
repping their sweatshirt.
it was the first time you had like a consistently working in the same room and
Yeah.
the same, which is for you strange because you're like a show here, a show there,
Yeah.
a show here, a show there.
The first one was a little bit rocky. And then you guys are both so gracious with your notes and helpful. And the second show was amazing. Friday night was great. And Saturday we had 2 shows, which were also really good.
How long?
And by notes, the big note was, how about asking them how they are? Just how are you all doing instead of right away, I hate being a mother. It's just how are you doing? You know?
Yeah, and also take your chin out of your neck.
That was my note.
I was nervous the first one a little bit. It's like,
of course,
because I wasn't sure like how orthodox they were going to be, and I didn't want, you want them to like you.
Oh no, the first show was the front row was Chabad, tzitzis, beards, Mashiach, yarmulkes, right?
thing.
And they were great. They were amazing.
They liked me.
They were
liked
so
me.
happy.
Wow.
Why did they like me?
Yeah.
I think that they liked me because I think that the place where I immediately relate is the mom thing. And so like and the Jewish thing.
Cool.
And the fact that it's a wild card that I brought. Like they knew what they were going to get with me, but they didn't know what what this was going to be about.
Yeah,
but I talked to Olga about this actually, because she opened a few shows for you, and she said by the fourth show, she said that your audience is difficult for her because she makes me look clean.
Well, yes.
Let's see.
She does make you look clean. Yes.
And she said she's trying to figure out what they like and they don't like. And I said, what they don't like is you.
Well,
they don't like us. But then she said by the fourth show, she finally like worked it out. So it's a little bit, it's a dance, but it was amazing. It was so much fun. And I liked them too. We got along.
it's fun. But
How long did you do?
Like 15 minutes.
Wow, that's awesome.
15 minutes. Is that the longest you've done?
No.
You've done longer than 15? Yeah. It's a chunk of time.
Yeah, it's not a joke. Like,
Yeah.
no pun intended.
Yes.
I bounced a table.
Wait, what?
Oh,
yes.
my
Leah bounced the
God.
table.
I bounced the table. I was sitting in the very biggity back of the room, and there was this table just like completely screaming at each other, like full conversation, like no idea there was a show happening. And I went over and I asked them to please be quiet, and they immediately got combative. And I was like, oh, you picked the wrong person in this whole room of people. And I was like, I'll be right back. And I got the security guard. I was like, this whole table out. And they're like, I'll see you later when they were walking out. And I was I hope so.
Leo goes, I hope so. And I was like, stop it right now.
I was like 4 Moscow mules in at that point, but I was at least.
Right. You were chugging Moscow mules the whole time.
I was trying to get through it, girl. I was at Mohegan Sun, and it really is like being in a commercial for type 2 diabetes medication. Walking around
it's insane that noise. They have a waterfall in the middle, and it's like it's like ambient sounds. Is that what you call that?
Ambient.
It's so loud. It's so loud. Wow. But
Did you gamble at all other than on your opening
We
act?
tried.
we other than what the opening
than the opening act.
That was
That was a
Wait,
gamble.
say that again.
That was a gamble.
That was great. Do that again.
Yeah, take 2.
Take 2.
Did you gamble at all other than on your opening act?
Folks.
Try the veal. He'll be here all week. We did not. So we're bored. It was Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So we were just walking around. How many laps can you do around the whole place? At one point, we tried to put $1 in one of those awful machines, and it didn't take our $1. We didn't know what we put in the wrong. We didn't even take our $1 that we asked it to, and we just gave it up.
We took it as
Meanwhile, your husband Guy came up, and within 3 minutes of being there, he won $250.
Yeah.
Amazing.
He made more than we made the whole weekend in 3 hands of poker.
He was excited. No one loves a poker table more than
Really?
Guy. Oh, yeah.
But it was an interesting room for them too, for the club, because you have all of a sudden all they usually have is what's comped from the casino, and then maybe something from the local area that came in for the night. And all of a sudden, this comedy club had Orthodox Jews.
Yeah. In the middle of a casino.
In the middle of a casino, you see yarmulkes everywhere, and
That's
few
Mashiach energy,
people,
honestly.
the few people that came in from the casino that were comps, and they were like, all of a sudden, what do we do in the middle of Yom Kippur services? And
that was like that couple.
we had an interesting couple. We were one of the shows. When I'm doing my show, I have an eye on everybody. I can see who's focusing, who's texting, who's going through it with their partner or whatever's happening, who's having a problem with the wait staff, who's not happy with their food. I can see it all. And this one couple, I had my eye on them, and right away I saw that they weren't into being in a comedy show.
Mm-hmm.
And they were thinking about it, and then they called the waitress over, and then they just picked up and left.
In the middle.
In the first 5 minutes of my act.
Okay.
So they sat through your 15, and then now they're 20 minutes in the show, and they're opting out.
Okay.
And they're done, so they're out.
I didn't see them walk out. I was in the back trying to make sure he didn't rip that guy's head off.
So then we see them later on. So then cut to much later on in the evening. We are we're just hanging out.
We're walking around trying to put a dollar in the slot machine.
Yes, and we actually see this woman walk by, and it was her.
I didn't know.
It was the wife.
Oh my God.
And I go, do you know where this dollar goes in the machine? And I don't know what she said, but she walked away, and she was wearing this very
like a mini skirt.
A mini skirt almost, and we could see that she had a garter on.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
So they made other plans.
So they had, I don't know what they had.
But they were older too. They were like in their 60s probably, right?
Oh.
Yeah.
And she was trashed.
Yeah.
Trashed. And
Yeah.
then
it's like
you
midnight.
saw them the next day.
I went to go sit down at the bar for breakfast by myself the next day in a packed sports restaurant with 400 79-inch screens with World Cup screaming. And I was talking to the bartender, and it came out that I was a comic or whatever. And there's a guy next to me. It's 10:30 in the morning that has 3 empty beers in front of him. And he goes, "Oh, you're a comic?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "I actually saw a comedy show here last night." And he goes, "It was terrible. I walked out in the middle."
Yes.
And I go, "Oh, wow, you did?" I was like, "I'm sorry you didn't enjoy the show. Comedy's so personal, really."
Yeah.
And he's, and I go, "You don't recognize me, do you?" And he goes, "No." I was like, "I was on that show." He was mortified.
Really?
And he goes, "Oh, no way. I would know." He goes, "I'm going to ask my wife." And the woman comes.
Mrs. Garter herself.
Amazing.
Mrs. Garter Bell.
Moody's audience is very diverse. It's Gardels and Gartelach.
Gartlach. And then you found out that
And then he
was,
said, "I know a lot about comedy, actually, because my best friend from college was a comic." And I said, "Oh, really? Who's that?" And he goes, "Colin Quinn." And I said, "Wow." I was like, "Well, that's so funny. I just saw Colin the other day." I said, he's largely considered one of the great comedic minds of our time. And he said, "Jim Quinn, hello, if you're listening." He said, "Well, I didn't think he was very funny either."
Yeah.
Yeah, so we...
Perfect.
He's
So
not
you're fine.
Right. So I said, "I feel
Everything's
so
great.
much better about our show now."
Right. And then, but it was a fun experience.
It was
and
so
we
much
got out
fun.
of there. I mean, Saturday night we did 2 shows, and we were, by the time that room cleared out, Leo and I were in the car driving home.
Yes,
That was it.
And it was also amazing to watch you do 4 hours consecutively. The amount of energy that you have on stage is incredible.
Thank you. Yes, I did some old material just to remember that I remembered it.
Yeah.
And you can't do specifically Jewish material because half the room is not Jewish.
Right.
So it was just material that can flow from both.
This is something that I wanted to say, though. I think that one of the most incredible things that you do, though, is you do bridge that gap. And that's really magical because you're doing Jewish material, but there was a table of young Black girls that were on the floor laughing.
Yeah, they were laughing at the Shiva stuff.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's a really interesting thing, especially in a time of such heightened anti-Semitism.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
really, and so it doesn't matter if you're Jewish or not, if you can do that.
No, funny is funny. It's fun. They got it, and it was a fun. I had that tonight. Tonight I have a show that's half the room is Jewish, another half is it's like a corporate event, and it's gonna be that, and just yes.
So the non-Jews like to be singled out, and the Jews like to watch our stuff broadcast by you. Like
Right.
we're proud of the way you talk about us.
Yes.
It's a fun thing.
Yeah.
So that's the show.
But as you're sitting here wearing an Otisville kollel.
Which would you like to explain that? Because Periel didn't know what that was.
I have no idea what that is. I love the look, though. I love your whole look. You
Thank
must
you
be
so
the
much.
chicest rabbi.
He is
That, by the way,
cheapest,
that means nothing. The bar is on the floor. That just means I'm a little bit less autistic than everybody else.
Yes, but
No, but-
you don't know if those are Prada boots or from the fire department.
No,
Wow.
these
They
are
could
like
be-
it's like giving
What
a
are
Doc
they?
Martin moment.
My
No.
guess is Prada.
They're McQueen.
Oh, yes.
Boots.
I dressed myself, you guys.
Wow, I'm proud of you. But
And this is Otisville Kollel, made by Shkoyach Wear,
which is your brand.
which is the brand. Yeah, there's a prison upstate that has a lot of Jews. Has a lot of Jews.
white collar crime.
Yeah. Well, not I don't think only. I
Not
don't
just
know.
white
I don't
collar
know.
crime.
I don't
Is it
know.
also the guy who wouldn't give the gets? Is
I don't know.
Notice-
I don't know.
No, it's just
Yeah.
it's a
Whatever,
prison.
it's a prison.
Upstate, and
It's a prison, and
It's a kosher prison.
it works out because it's really hard to take. Turns out it's really hard to take care of Orthodox Jews and to keep us comfortable. And so if we can put them all in one facility and keep them together, so that's useful to the prison system actually. But then also they get to have like 3 services a day and
Wow.
Daf Yomi Shirim translate.
Don't know what that is.
Just whatever Talmud. They're studying Talmud during the day. They have classes. They have community. They have Shalosh Shuddis. They
I
make it nice.
also
Yes.
don't
They make
know
it-
what
they
that
make-
is.
Have
they
you gone
they
to
make it
visit
nice.
there?
I haven't visited. I used to visit around here actually.
Right.
I
What's
haven't-
kollel?
I haven't visited there. So an kollel is an adult institution of learning. So the Otisville kollel. I made the design. It's a black hat behind bars. And you see the strings here
Oh,
are
hilarious.
the pious.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
God, honestly.
Guys, I'm in the wrong business.
That
I mean,
is
I'm in the
like
right business. but,
Seriously, no, really, that is genius.
like I lined it up. I measured.
You
it.
didn't know that before you ordered them.
No, that's
No, you
precisely what I
did.
did.
You really did.
Yeah, yeah.
You just. Oh
yeah,
my god.
Yeah.
He's
That's
a genius.
hysterical.
He's a
That's-
savant.
It
Yeah.
started as a crew neck, and that just wasn't cool enough. So I
The fact
needed-
that Supreme hasn't reached out to you yet.
with a cease and desist.
You have to do something because it's like the level of brilliant is
Thank you so
next
much.
level.
Right.
We love merch.
Yes,
We
we
love
love
merch.
him.
As Periel
And
sits
he
in her
merches all the time.
comics.
The yarmulkes. His yarmulkes are unbelievable.
So we have a new one. We have a new one actually. It's really the same like denim yarmulke, but on the inside I wrote Sixth Street Synagogue, less horrible than the horrible shul you grew up in.
Yeah,
And that's like our slogan. You don't like that?
I just
Is that
it's
too
not, I don't
dark?
see shul as horrible,
Oh,
and my shuls weren't horrible.
wow, you're one of those.
Yeah,
You see, that's a gamble. We're always gambling on something. I thought you were gonna love that.
I guess it's I don't know. I remember when I saw that like less
It's
horrible
much better than the
shul.
shul I grew up in. That's
It's-
for sure.
yeah.
It's just
Space
it's
Veggie
just- We're
Tales.
not horrible. It should be like we're just not
We're
horrible.
not,
which
but we are. But
fun.
when we are,
Our shul?
But when we're no,
We're
when
not
shuls are
horrible.
horrible. When shuls are horrible, it's so horrible. You guys,
So
come on.
horrible.
Or we're
so
not horrible.
my work was to make shul less horrible.
Right, and you did.
So, and we did it. We
You're
figured it out.
excelling
We
at.
figured it out. We make it
I'll
efficient.
be the judge of that.
Effi-
If I
You need
can
to come
sit
visit.
through a service,
Have you?
Why wouldn't
no,
you
you need to
come?
come visit.
You should come. What's
Also,
the
you
matter
can
with
you can come dressed the way you are. That's one of the most
Yeah.
important things in our synagogue. You do
can
not.
I
There's
sit
no
next to them?
suit. What?
You'll be close enough.
There's a mechitza.
There's a mechitza.
Okay, that's
It's
gonna
very
ha-
pleasant
That's gonna
one,
have
though.
to come down. Gonna have to take that down. That's
Really?
what my shul is gonna be: breaking down one mechitza at a time.
Wow.
Look
You'll
at him.
be
Look
there
at how
alone.
he's looking at me.
No, I'm just
Such a
like saying
dirty
like,
look.
it's funny.
That's gonna be our next yarmulke.
It's funny because if we didn't have a mechitza, she'd like I would like it to be separate seating. I would like
Okay.
the men and women to be, but because there is,
Because-
she wants it the other way.
No, that's not true. And you can have an opportunity to get me on board with this.
Yeah.
But the way it's been explained to me, because my husband likes Chabad and goes to those services, and it's that so that the women aren't a distraction. And I have a really hard time digesting that.
Well, we had Manis Friedman on the show, and he said when you're praying to God, you shouldn't be ignoring your wife. Right? Isn't that what he said? Something along those lines?
Something along those
Yeah,
lines.
But
you shouldn't be
again,
ignoring your wife. You're talking to God.
That's an
It's a-
apology for it.
But this is also that's also very like male centric. Like I'm distracting. Don't distract the men so that they can do the real work here.
It's just not distracting you, so you can do your real work in
What,
praying.
cleaning the house?
No, if you're in a synagogue and you're on the women's side, you're focusing on connecting to God.
No, Perry,
What
I
if
think
I'm a
you're right.
lesbian?
Perry, I agree with you. Perry, I think you're right. I think you're right. I think that it contradicts our modern values. It's not the way that we live the rest of our lives. We're moderns, we're progressives, we're egalitarian in every other area of our life, and so it's absolutely inconsistent. And you understand, and I absolutely understand the push to then make synagogues egalitarian. I also understand that we have value, that there's benefit in tapping into a traditional system, and we check certain boxes. And the whole category of religion is often illogical.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this is something that makes us feel that if we check into this place in this way, we violate those norms. We try to bend certain things to make it a bit more modern and more comfortable, and we evolve slowly over time. But yeah, it doesn't make sense from your perspective.
From my perspective, as someone who's not Jewish, who's been to the synagogue many a time, I think the mechitza there is largely symbolic. I mean, I've
Correct.
seen
Yeah.
mechitzas that are a literal wall where you can't see the other side. This is like
Right,
a
but-
wire, sort of like elegant. It's like a symbolic, like this is supposed to be here,
1,000%,
so it's
right.
here.
Right.
As far as these
It's-
things go, it's much better. But we're good Americans. We say that separate but equal is still discrimination.
Like if you didn't know
so
what a
that's still
mechitza was.
separate but equal is unacceptable in every other category of our lives.
What do you mean
So, yeah.
wire? Is there barbed wire on the
It's
top?
like
Like,
this
what if I want to
little-
climb over?
No,
it?
it's just like the doors that close.
It's kind of like
one
a wire
section.
gate that's kind of like pretty, I think. I mean, if you didn't know what it was supposed to do or what it was, you would just think it was like part of the like
Decoration.
design of the room. Like it doesn't feel like an actual separation to me, but I have been in situations where it is more
And it is an
aggressive.
Orthodox synagogue, and
There's a bizarre quirk to our mechitza, is that when the synagogue started in 1940, so men and women were separate, but there wasn't actually a mechitza. There wasn't actually any kind of physical separation, any barrier. And remember, the building itself, the sanctuary, it was a church.
Old church.
And it doesn't lend itself to the installation of a mechitza down the middle or a curtain. People would trip over it. There wouldn't be egress. It would be problematic. So in the 60s, I believe, the rabbi was a Frimmer, and he wanted to install the mechitza and insisted upon it. But there wasn't a place to put it. So what they did was they decided they were going to append it to one side of the pews. And at the time, the president of the synagogue was a woman. We don't know of Orthodox synagogues having female presidents.
Wow.
Before this, I can't say that we're the first, but I know that there certainly weren't many, and that was unique for its time. And so this president insisted that the men be penned in and not the women.
Wow.
So the women's space
Is actually more open
is
and better.
more open and freer. And we're the ones that are messing around with these like little
It's horrible.
doors and
awful.
is it?
It's just, and it makes this noise, and then there's this little space that no one can get in.
It's
and
actually
out.
the first thing we fixed. You know that? It's
What is?
my first repair in the synagogue was they used to be like these horrible hinges, and I had them install piano hinges.
I saw that. Yeah,
and
yeah.
like just to make it smooth and like they wouldn't
but
fall
the
off anymore.
But
But
the
it's
space
weird,
to get
yeah.
in and out, like you need to be like
like-
anorexic to get like through, and everybody's massive to get their way in and out. It's horrible.
It's a little clown car-ish.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
it's too obvious a door.
Listen, you are quite revolutionary, I think, in your thinking as an Orthodox rabbi, and not just because you wear Alexander McQueen boots. So, I mean, Modi was saying that for Keshet's bat mitzvah, you had her come up to the Torah and read,
Yeah.
and that's also quite
He didn't have her.
groundbreaking.
She wanted herself.
Okay, whatever, but
she
But it was
she
insane.
You're not allowed to in most Orthodox
this is
synagogues.
not this is not a conventional. You know, we have to figure out ways to empower.
I
women.
mean, I think
we
it's
have
wonderful.
to figure out a way to give them more access to Torah. We absolutely need their voices and their wisdom. It's a no-brainer. And I'm also a rules guy. So we followed the rules. We did the whole service. We had my friend read Torah, and 7 men were called up, and a maftir, the whole thing. We got through it. And then she did an additional, I guess, a discretionary service. And she killed it. She was.
Of course she did.
She was great. In fact, she asked me, the guy who read messed something up, and she came up to me after. She asked me if I thought he made the mistake intentionally to make her feel better.
Oh,
you're an insane person. You're an
Wow.
insane person. But she was great.
And the merch was
strong. You know, her name means rainbow, and we. So I knew I wanted to do something with rainbow. But it couldn't, you do rainbow. Listen, I'm all for pride and that's amazing. That's a great thing. Everyone needs to be who they are. But it was distracting from her. So to have rainbows everywhere, like that wasn't. So what I figured out was you could either have the design in the shape of a rainbow and one color, or it had to be in the colors of a rainbow, but like a different object. So we went with disco balls.
Isn't that genius?
And
it's genius.
And it worked out. And we
and like 3 different types of yarmulkes, not just like a one. Here's a big fat yarmulke on your head. If it fits, it fits. If it doesn't, doesn't. It was like all different types and really cute.
No, it was really great. But this is something. I'm an Orthodox rabbi, and I grew up mostly Orthodox. I had a foot in the conservative movement a little bit. I went to Camp Ramah growing up. And I had conservative rabbi teachers, so I relate to that world as well. But it's something I struggle with. My daughter, she's such a good. Thank God I have 2 wonderful children. She is so fun to sit with in synagogue. And what happens? She turns 12, and next thing I know, I have to send her to the other side.
The other side of the mechitza.
Yeah, that's not okay.
And I don't get to sit with her. She made a joke. She's like, I break rules. But we don't.
Keshet, if you're listening to this, I encourage you to climb over that mechitza. Yes.
It'll break. No, stop. It'll break. The whole building will fall down.
You haven't seen this mechitza. She climbs over this mechitza. This isn't the wall that's separating Mexico and Arizona.
I don't love that.
A little thing.
But it was, there's
like, why doesn't she get to sit next to, like, with all the pride she probably feels about, like, this is my dad. It's more than sad.
It's a little sad.
Philosophically and ethically problematic.
And
I'm glad that you're worried about it, frankly.
Yeah.
Wow, Periel came in swinging this morning.
No, not at all. I love you.
This is what happens when you let her open for you.
One Common Roadhouse
off the derech.
And now she's puskening and how the mechitza should be
seriously
withheld.
What should I speak about on Shabbos?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why don't you forward her your Dvar Torah so she approves it?
No, she's writing it. What are you talking about?
Oh, God.
Can you do a tight 15?
I can.
Yeah, I heard.
And I'll say hello to everybody, too. Listen, I have a son, and he is growing up very Jewish, and he gets taken to synagogue, and I think about these things.
What do you mean he gets taken to synagogue?
Okay, but...
we take him to synagogue. We go to synagogue. Mostly my husband takes him.
Nice.
Yeah.
But I go to.
This is a stupid question, but Reform shuls, they have mechitzas too?
No.
That's what I thought. Okay.
No,
not
they
Reform.
Truly,
not conservative.
Do they have set rules?
Of course.
You're like, do they have any rules at all?
It's a shorter book. It's a shorter book. It's an easier read. No, of course, everybody has rules. Everybody has rules.
And they are out.
Not, by the way, not anymore. Not anymore. It used to be that Reform was much more like cathedral and stuffy. And then it all became Debbie Friedman. Now it's all just summer camp, and there's a lot of singing, and there's a lot of ruach, and there's a lot of learning.
There's a lot of tambourine.
There are no tambourines in my synagogue
yet.
No.
I remember I was working on this film. There was a Hasidic film, and we were taking the director and the camera guy. Oh my God. I took him to Lipa Schmelzer's Stiebel. This is a Hasidic singer. He's a genius in music and an amazing person. And he had a Stiebel. He had a synagogue, a small little synagogue.
Okay.
So I took these two guys who were from Reform backgrounds, and I brought them for a Shabbat Friday night and services and dinner at his house, at Lipa Schmelzer's house, and they were looking around the whole time. And I go, "What are you guys looking for? Where's the woman with the guitar?"
Oh,
Hilarious.
I go,
my
"She's
gosh.
not here.
She's not coming.
She's not
She
coming.
won't be here.
It's just us and these Hasidic men." And that was
where is she? They killed her. That's what she is. She's dead now.
oh my God.
That's so good.
I caught a cold in Mohegan Sun.
You're lucky
Um,
that's all you caught in Mohegan Sun.
There's nothing worse in the world than your health is the most important thing in the world.
Yeah.
I think I got it because I was doing all the meet and greets afterwards. People just coming in my face, literally just in my face, breathing, and I gotta stop those.
What were they whispering in your ears?
The craziest things. People have been whispering the craziest things.
Oh,
to
no.
me. We need to.
You're a Rebbe.
We
You
wanna
really
do-
are. This
He
is
is.
your.
He
We need
Totally.
to do a mic.
No, listen to this, Seth. Should we run this by Seth?
No, not
Okay.
on air.
Not on
Seth, we
air.
have something to talk to you about.
Okay,
Yes.
what do you get?
It's just
An
first
idea.
of all,
You get jokes.
sometimes I have a joke.
Hey, let me tell you what's funny.
No, I have a line
Material.
for you. Sometimes I have a line, and sometimes those lines are great. And then
Twice
sometimes,
those lines have been great.
sometimes I was hoping you would do the one about two guys, and it's a nine, and there's a line of people coming to take a picture. I go, we can't do this right now. You need to move on.
Oh my God.
Or when the cameras are all a mess, and but sometimes you just say crazy things to me.
No, we got stopped a couple of times because we were sitting at a coffee shop in the casino and people came up to him and they did offer you a line. I mean, he has the patience of a saint. I'm sitting there, I'm like going to bang my head against the wall.
Except, yeah. Someone told you should be wearing a kippah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
he
this is
wasn't even wearing a
this is the-
kippah.
He wasn't wearing a kippah. He was wearing
Oh, that's good. That's
suspenders.
amazing.
Now, you should wear a yarmulke.
You should really wear a yarmulke.
Yeah, you should
Really
You should wear a
Uh,
belt.
You should wear a yarmulke. He had a belt and
Oh, as his
the only
veterans.
thing missing was thumbtacks. But what am I gonna? Yes. That was his way of saying hello.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the show.
See, that's
See,
That-
Yeah.
your zenness is you being able to see through that. Me, I just go into blind rage immediately. Like,
but should we talk about the phone call?
oh, do you want to discuss the phone call?
Oh my God! So on the ride,
Phone call gate.
so we drove with.
We drove with Periel for like 3 hours, basically, up to this gig at Mohegan Sun. So we're all in the car together.
It was a Friday afternoon.
It was a
no
Thursday.
Thursday. It was Thursday.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
It was a Thursday afternoon, and so Leo's dealing with all the gigs and all the phone calls that he has to do, and they were all happening like with Periel in the background, and the phone calls ran the gamut of every insanity.
Insane.
What were the
Who was sitting in the front? What
I was
was
in the
the
front.
sitting arrangement?
I
You were
was in
driving.
front.
driving?
Modi
First
was
of all,
driving.
I went down to their place, so I met
Okay.
them, and they said we're already in the parking lot, so just come to the parking lot. So they're both standing outside, and I look at the two of them, and I said, "So who drives?" And Modi looks at me, and he goes, "Hilarious."
Amazing.
Yeah, I don't drive.
Did you
haven't driven
offer her
in
the
7
front
years.
seat or no?
No, why would I? I would never.
You would
take
never?
Of course not.
Okay.
I've never had any luck with other drive. Leo hasn't driven in 7 years. Eric Newman, when he opened for me, had no driver's license. I never had anybody that could just do the driving for me.
Right.
Not that I would trust anybody.
Yeah,
else to
that's
drive.
the other
exactly.
thing.
That's part of the reason
I
why I don't
can't-
drive.
yeah.
Modi has
Yeah.
got it.
Listen, if you ever need, man, You don't have the smart car anymore,
I've
so I'm
seen
down
you
to drive.
I
You're
would
not
think-
impressed.
No,
You're not
wasn't impressed with
See,
you at
exactly.
all.
This is why I just let you
Yeah.
It's like
handle it.
full dad mode.
I'm working anyway. Like I'm in full work
Yeah.
He's in
mode. It's
full.
speaker with my
But
phone.
the phone calls
Okay,
that
so
came
who
in.
do you get?
So there's just like work phone calls and this and like crazy emails and you performed at my bar mitzvah 17 years ago and can I have 37 tickets to your sold out holiday show? And he like, it's like blind rage, Leo. Okay.
No, I have not for everyone. I'm
Not
nice.
for everyone.
I'm nice until you're dumb.
Right. Until you turn into a sociopath. And then the phone rings. Modi's phone rings.
Oh yes. Oh yes. My phone rings and it's on WhatsApp. And I figured it's on WhatsApp. What?
Oh, that's a. I mean,
So I just hit yes.
But he's driving too.
I'm
so
driving,
He's not
so I'm like,
really.
so
that's almost as. It might as well be a 718 number.
It goes hello, and it's a young man's voice, like someone 20 years old. He goes, "Hey, is this Modi?" I go, "Yes." He goes, "Wow, I really think you're funny, and I watch all your stuff. I just wanted to talk to you a little bit."
Oh God.
And I was like, "Oh, really? Yeah, I just want to just talk with you a little bit, something along those lines."
It
I
was
go,
so awkward.
I said, "Okay, I'm gonna wish you a good Shabbos."
That's not what happened.
What happened?
That is not what happened at all.
What
Modi.
happened?
We
Somebody,
got the
You said
redacted
you
version.
played in for a second. You said, "Oh, cool, yeah. What's up? I would love to have this conversation right now." And then, like, just when he started to talk back, you went,
No,
click.
no. I said good Shabbos and goodbye.
You did say good
I
Shabbos.
said good Shabbos and goodbye and hung up.
But you also said, "Oh yeah, I'd love to have a conversation with somebody who I've never
Yeah,
met in
something
my
like that.
entire life, and I have no idea how you got my phone number."
Wow.
Yeah, he got my
Wow.
number. Yeah, he. Yes.
Moody Modi.
Yeah, and then we kind of discussed it afterwards. We debriefed as a group. I said that wasn't anyone's shining moment. No one excelled in that situation.
Right.
Should we call him right now?
No, I don't have his
Just
number.
fine.
What do you mean? Give me your phone.
No.
Call him right now.
No, we're not calling.
Get him on the
The
horn.
level of sociopathy, the
Patch him in.
sociopath award of the weekend goes to me. And actually not that guy, because Modi was on the Jim and Sam show on Sirius XM last week, and they posted a picture of Modi to their Instagram account,
Oh.
and someone commented on it saying, "This guy wasn't funny. You should scratch him off the guest list." And Modi responded back. Modi responded saying, "You can scratch something. I won't say on
Expletive.
And
air."
it was, if you
Wow.
understand, this was also, I saw this, I couldn't sleep at night, so it's 4 a.m. I just pick up my phone, I'm just reading stuff, I'm just seeing this scratch Modi. I just said, "Scratch your mother's blank." And then, and left it.
Yes.
And then I guess Leo saw it the next day.
I saw it the next day and I commented, "Yes, because you are the arbiter of what is funny and not, the people who have decades of comedy experience in the room. But thank you for," I said something like that. And then he commented back. And then I went through his Instagram profile and he
Is a congregant in my synagogue.
he has a
No,
He,
well,
he
no.
was whatever. He had his own baggage, but he
I went
came
through and
around.
liked a bunch of pictures in a very psychotic way,
And
it
he
wasn't my
came back
shining
and said,
moment.
"Sorry, I've been off." He
Yeah.
apologized that he'd been off, but whatever, it's fine.
But I've been fighting with people in the comments, and several of them have had full circle moments with me.
Yeah.
We had a lot of we had the guy from Burning Bush on, and we're talking about people using edibles and marijuana
Oh,
in
people are
synagogue and all that.
Deplorable.
And it's hilarious.
Folks, studio laugh track.
Hilarious.
Go on.
And people were writing haftorahs on the comments. It's happening too much. It's not happening enough. Why isn't my shul doing this? My shul's doing too much of
Some
this.
people completely horrified by the idea. A lot of people.
Yeah.
Like me.
You were not horrified.
It's-
I said, I don't understand. You're not allowed to ride a Shabbos elevator, but you can get stoned out of your mind.
Yeah, people were offended that you were offended about that.
Seriously.
Yeah.
They were
like,
like,
really?
not the same issue.
Stay in your lane.
She's weighing in.
Stay in your lane is amazing.
Stay on your side of the mechitza, Gavriel.
Yeah.
You keep your
Stay.
comments on the mechitza and marijuana to yourself,
Shut
Periel.
your yap. My mom even heard that.
Yeah, your mom
episode.
called you last night like an intervention.
Why are you telling people to do drugs? I'm like, what? That was your takeaway from that 40-minute podcast?
Oh my God, that's amazing.
I love that she listens, though. Hi,
She
Basta.
listens. She finds somewhere to click somewhere, and she just sits there and listens to it. So shout out to my mother. But I said my main line was find your frequency. Don't get trashed in a mess and go to synagogue. Find your little vibe, and it'll help the service go by nicely. And
Responsible.
enjoy the singing and but people were weighing hard on
Was that the most polarizing episode?
No.
What do you mean by polarizing?
I mean, I guess
not making two sides like yes or
yeah,
no.
yeah.
That may
No.
have been one of the most polarizing episodes. Yes,
I guess
It's a hot button issue, right?
a
This
hot
one
button
might
issue,
be
yeah.
more though with the mechitza.
No, that's
You
not
think?
happening.
Nah.
it was interesting. And this morning, as I perused through the comments, there's a whole fresh set of like paragraph long responses to it of like people really having an opinion. Do you care if people take an edible before coming?
I do not.
Okay.
Yeah.
But also be an adult, you know?
Be an adult.
Right. You want to be
responsible.
like present and
Yes.
spiritual,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like you don't want to be wasted.
No, you want to be catch a little
Find your
find your frequency.
I like find your frequency.
That's it. Find your frequency. A little something, not
Yeah.
just a little bit. And shalom aleichem. Not like
Yeah, people were talking about like
Yeah.
having to call Hatzalah. And
Yeah.
stuff like that. It was
Oh
like,
my
Yeah.
God.
like get a grip, people.
get a grip. Just take
Get
a
a grip.
little bit if it's yeah. But my mom was in shock that I'm saying on the air that I take marijuana, and she's like, ah. But
That's
it's
fine.
yeah, she's from that old school where it's like still
Also, the edibles are unpredictable, man.
right.
You gotta-
I don't mess
Finding your
around.
frequency, it's even harder.
Yeah.
Too many variables.
Anyway,
Hanukkah.
Hanukkah. Any words for
Yeah.
Hanukkah? This is going to air right before Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah, everybody.
How
Yeah.
great is
you like it?
Hanukkah?
Oh, I love it.
It
Oh,
is
love
so-
it. Love.
Why?
It is the
Yeah,
best
why?
holiday.
It's the miracle of light.
No.
Ah,
Ugh, is that what you had for a
that's
For those of you who can't see, Modi's giving a thumbs
big
down to
fat
Periel.
thumbs down to Periel and her miracles of light. Shut
I
up.
can't believe.
Shut up. Oh, that was the
I
worst.
can't believe you don't like that. I love that it's the miracle of light.
It's
You
the
guys
miracle that
suck.
it's a miracle that it's like it's so genius of the Jews. And non-Jews, when they have that Christmas, it's always on one day. It's one day. It's that 25th, right? 25th?
Mm-hmm.
oh, that's
It's
so
always on that 20. They have to get there, do it.
That's not
If it doesn't-
true.
By the way,
it's
That's not
By
so
the way,
true.
that's
we had
so
8
wise.
days. Figure out what you want to do. You have a party. Last year we had an amazing party because it fit the schedule right. But you have 8 days to
Have
celebrate.
you not heard the
this.
song "On the 12 Days of Christmas"?
Yeah,
by
it's not
True Love
real.
Gave
Yeah,
Me?
it's not
okay,
real.
It's not real. It's
Yes,
a song.
because of Advent. I'm
Advent,
the
because of
token guy.
Advent.
I'm putting my foot down.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah,
Five
yeah. It's called
golden
microdosing Christmas.
Bus Haxler China
There's
with
an
that
Advent
song.
calendar involved. There's a whole
That's a whole
build up
thing.
to it.
Yeah. I heard about
They
that
all made it.
calendar.
It's the Sephora. It makes little things.
Yeah.
It's not all hinging on one day. There's
I
a
by the way,
like
so-
Christmas
all right,
a lot.
take that wisdom.
Okay.
All right.
It does
Whatever.
hinge on one
Not me
day.
defending
It starts in
Christmas.
Thanksgiving. All
The
the all the
Grinch.
songs in the mall. All the
Mariah
and
Carey.
it's really bad. They don't know how to. They don't
Don't
know.
say they.
All the retail
These
stores.
people.
These people.
These
The-
degenerates.
The songs. If you think about the Christmas songs, you can't. When you're curating a vibe of a store, the Christmas songs are either like ballistic or they're quiet. Silent night, and then the next one is jingle bell, ding a bang, ding ding dang dang. You know, so it's like you're like you can't.
We don't.
It's you gotta like you can't just go. It's either ballistic or like so
Wait, how
We
quiet.
do the same thing. We do the same thing.
No.
Yeah, from Freed albums. Come on,
No,
you have a
but
bit
it's-
about that.
but we don't.
You haven't done that bit in forever.
Street's not playing at Banana Republic
And you're not going into Banana Republic.
ever. But I'm just saying, in all the Christmas
How did we get to hear from Periel saying she likes Hanukkah? Can
I
we
don't
just
understand.
rewind?
I'm so
but-
surprised you guys hate the miracle of light.
I
the
know
miracle
it's
We
Yeah,
love
yeah.
it,
We
but I'm
love
just
it.
saying it. But it's such a go-to. It's so not.
By the way, you know there are a
original.
lot of there are a lot of miracles. There's like a lot of disagreement in the early sources as to what the miracle is. The miracle of light is like a relatively late story. That the oil lasted for 8 days.
Listen,
Really?
Rabbi Bellino,
yeah, that's
the
a relatively
level
late-
of
yeah.
Hanukkah that you're working on and the level of Hanukkah that I'm working on.
Well, then
are-
I'm your Hanukkah gift.
okay.
Yeah.
What are the older miracles?
So there were a bunch. There was a raid of the temple treasury.
That's
And that-
what you want me to say, Perio. Why do you
and
like
that
Hanukkah?
and that the angels intervened and stopped the temple treasury from being raided. There's the military victory.
we believe
That's
in
another one.
angels.
Of course. Are you insane?
Did you know that?
They're not like the Hallmark kind.
No.
They're like more normal.
Angels. There's
Whatever.
angels.
I had no idea.
Demons. We have demons.
Demons, the Dybbuk and Ebul. There's a million. Are you kidding me?
We have it
No.
all.
We came up with it. We are the OGs of all that goblins and googles and schmuggles and
What?
yes. Angels.
No.
What
We-
angels do
It
they
was
have?
our routine, and they torpedoed our set after.
Yeah.
It sounds like.
amazing.
Wait, yeah. I have a lot of questions. Do you guys have exorcisms?
We don't not have exorcisms.
That's not an answer.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
You
And
have
we mentioned it
No,
on the
it's-
pod. Did I mention
it's
it on
a
the
whole
podcast?
range.
There is a certain prayer you do when you have a bad dream.
That's
Did you
not
know
an
about that?
exorcism.
It's
That's not an
a mini.
Listen,
There
you guys
are
are
prayers-
getting like really.
We went off the
I'm
rails.
sorry.
But we got a nice topic. There's also prayers I recently found that you can to invite dead souls to an event, to a simcha.
Yeah, that's
You
those
saw that?
are
Wait,
ours.
what?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
pause. We're sitting on this for a second. It's a seance prayer,
It's not a seance. It's a prayer.
but you're
Does it
inviting
involve
what?
a Ouija board?
You know what? But it's. I'm a rationalist. I don't. It doesn't do it
He's
for
not
me.
this into
But
that
you know,
stuff.
but religion is there for our anxieties. If you're having a beautiful family event and some of the family or some of the friends aren't there, so that provokes anxiety and sadness. So if you have a way to invite them spiritually in and deal with that, so that's a beautiful thing. That's so
Did
lovely.
you do this at Kesha's event?
No,
Nah.
you took what I did at Kelly's wedding.
Oh,
I feel like I was at a simcha where someone did this.
I
he did it.
I did it. My niece.
But you didn't say the actual prayer.
No, I brought the soul in a different way, very calm. And I knew right before I jerked the tear out of people, I put a joke in.
Yeah, I started
and moved
crying.
on. Right,
I
but
always-
before.
when I do weddings, I always ask people to mention, who do you wish were here that needs to be mentioned now? Let's establish their
That's so nice.
And
I
then
like
who
that.
owes money?
absence.
I-
Nice.
I like that. I learned something new today about Judaism.
Yeah, but
My adventures in Judaism.
And, we have angels and ooh, girl.
All I'm saying is that the Chanukiah and the light and the
What is
menorah.
Chanukiah?
It's a menorah.
Oh, is that what
it's a
that is?
menorah,
Menorah.
and I decorate the house, and it's
Right, and you have 8 days to do it. It's not all on December 25th.
so
but-
that's the thing that's great about
I think
Hanukkah is
it's
that
one
it's
of the
You
most-
eight
guys are
days.
just
Amazing
erasing the
things.
whole holiday seasons for Goyim. That starts after Thanksgiving. That immediately the decorations come up, and it's a whole thing.
Oh, but there's one big blast at the end, at that 25th.
One big
And
Torah
then
blast
on the 26th, it's all over.
I'm gonna tell you
Um,
guys something.
Actually, no, not on the 26th. It's over. People in Europe and like Latin America celebrate
There's a set, yeah.
King's Day, which is Los Reyes Magos, which is
Ooh,
when
ah.
they believe when the 3 wise men came to visit. And then it's a whole extra set of holidays after Christmas Day. And my family always jokes that we should decide to celebrate that instead of Christmas Day because then we could get more presents because everything would be discounted after Christmas.
Are you sure they're
Oh,
not
geez,
Jewish?
yeah.
You nodded over there that you've heard of Reyes Magos. Our engineer is siding with me. Thank you. It's a real thing.
Well, that's Eastern Christmas also, right?
I think so. Yeah. It's
Okay,
for the
but this
3
is
wise
like
men.
not regular Christmas in America. Like
Yeah.
I think what I'm trying to say is that Christmas is a spectrum, Periel.
okay.
And for you guys to sit here and disparage.
Don't you guys me. We leave a cookie out for Santa.
Do you?
Good.
Is it kosher?
Of course.
It's a black and white cookie from Zabar's.
Nice.
Which brings us to
We love a tie-in.
tie-in. We have a show coming up at for a Zabar sponsored show, right? What is it?
The food's by Zabar's. It's not sponsored by Zabar's. It's presented by Old Jewish Men and Stand Up New York on December 11th at 1 o'clock.
I think this will have aired after this.
Okay, so never mind.
Never mind.
No, but I'm not sure. But keep going just in case.
And it's called Deli Laughs. And yeah, it's going to be amazing. We're almost sold out. It's Modi and Judy Gold and Dan Natterman and Willie Zabar,
My old
Leo's
friend
old
Willie
friend.
Zabar.
And I'm hosting it, and it's going to be it's super fun. And the food is presented by
Oh, look, it's
Zabar.
No Mohegan Sun.
It's
but
It is
Thank God.
no Mohegan Sun.
No Mohegan Sun.
what do we have to plug?
What's going on? Montreal. We added a show in Montreal. and in Toronto.
By the time this airs, the other Toronto show will be
We'll
live.
be on live. So get your ticket. Those of you who were all upset and how they phrase it.
We're all wondering why there's only one show.
So now there's no reason to wander. There is another show in Montreal and another show in Toronto, and there's a few seats left for. But by this time, probably sold out. Though, West Palm Beach.
Yeah, that Palm Beach Improv.
Palm Beach Improv.
I'm also working on things in Vancouver and Seattle and Portland in that region of the world.
Yes. So make sure you're on go to modilive.com to subscribe to the newsletter so you get all this information. And Leo really makes it very specific to, you don't just get all of the information, just get what's happening in your neighborhood.
If you leave me a little note though, I can't do detective work. Like if you leave me in the message box, like I live in Seattle, I'll try to put you on a special list for Seattle. I've been trying. Some people leave their phone numbers, and I've been Googling like area codes, and it's a lot of work.
No, don't do that.
Yeah, but if you can leave me a little clue, I'll
make it easy for him, guys. Come on.
Wait, and what else? We have to mention Dina. Mentioning Dina. She does not want to be on the podcast, but we should
Dina's
mention her.
our spiritual sponsor.
Yeah, spiritual sponsor. Oh wow, that's cute.
Dina needs to be on the podcast.
She doesn't want to be on the podcast. She just wants to be mentioned.
She just wants to be mentioned.
She's going to have to come on at some point.
It's going to be our season finale.
For her to pull an outfit together, she would have to. It would cost Johnny $10,000 for her to show up.
I mean, I set the bar pretty high.
I know. We have McQueen over here.
Okay, so what are you plugging? Sixth Street Synagogue.
Sixth Street Synagogue. Come to shul.
It is the vibe. It is so good. It is such an
Thank you.
amazing, welcoming place, and it is such a fun place, and it's so, it's just easy. And there is going to be a beautiful Kiddush sponsored on the 23rd. Did the guy send you the money?
Yeah.
He sent the money.
Yeah,
already?
yeah.
Nice. A friend of mine wanted tickets to the Christmas show, and he knew he should have bought early, and he wanted 4. I got 4 tickets, but I said you're sponsoring a Kiddush in Leo's name, so there's gonna be a nice Kiddush on the 20th.
Because I'm in charge of the guest list.
It's the Shabbat right before.
It's the Shabbat before Christmas. So come to
if you
synagogue.
saw the Google Doc of
Leo,
the guest list.
Leo, what do you want to eat? What do you want for Kiddush?
Oh, please gefilte fish.
Really?
Yeah, I love your gefilte fish.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that.
And
Just the normal fare, the gefilte fish and the chicken
but it's
nuggets.
really an amazing synagogue. It's like he doesn't drag it out. You finish way before 12. Sometimes he feels if the room is completely like people are really done, he'll skip Anim Zamirot.
Wow, what a gift.
What a gift. But sometimes you have a good. No, it's just and it's Orthodox. It's Orthodox.
Yeah, because there's a
Come dressed like
mechitza.
Periel.
Nice.
You cannot come dressed like Periel unless you have a Comics Roadhouse sweatshirt.
Exactly.
Where do we get this?
You have to go to Mohegan Sun.
God,
That's
God.
not happening.
Anything else?
I think this will be airing just as we're like riling up to do your residency at Sony Hall for your holiday show.
I'm so excited for that.
that's
Those
gonna be so
shows
amazing.
are wild.
It's gonna be epic.
It's gonna be epic.
It's the biggest.
This is the-
yet. It's
4
the
shows
biggest,
sold
best-
out immediately.
I didn't get a
Amazing.
ticket.
You can just come backstage.
Thankfully, you
and,
know someone.
And you too. You're always backstage.
Yeah, I'll have to sponsor Kiddush in my synagogue.
Yeah, everyone's
Oh,
sponsoring
hilarious.
a Kiddush in my name.
Hilarious.
Gefilte for
Okay.
Leo.
Thank you again to A&H Provisions.
www.kosherdogs.net.
Kosher
No,
Dogs.
I like the www.
Why?
It sounds like a
I don't know,
worldwide
there's something
wrestling.
comforting about it
No, it's kosher.
because
Takes
it
you-
tells you that we're
Takes
about
you
to
back
tell
to
you
96.
a website.
Okay, so it's www.
Kosherdogs.net.
kosherdogs.net.
Net.
Seth, and if you want to go see the factory, Seth will be happy to give you a tour and let me know how it goes.
And it's 30% off your first order.
If you use promo code Modi.
If you use promo code Modi.
That's right.
Okay. Thank you all very much for listening. Thank you for coming back on the
Oh, it's so
podcast.
fun.
And
Love
and
it.
that's
Mashiach
Mashiach
energy.
energy. Make sure you're
Always.
bringing Mashiach energy to everything
Bring
you do
Mashiach
and not
energy.
preventing Mashiach energy. Thank you all very much. Bye.
Bye.